Hi, I'm Sydney. I'm a model and writer.
Hi, I'm Millie. I'm a blogger and mother from Hull, and we're here to talk about anxiety. The first time I ever felt anxiety was in primary school, and it was that kind of moment where you're late to a class and you walk in and everybody's already sat down, they know their place, and you're just stood there and everybody just stares, and it's almost like this deafeningly loud silence, and everything just rushes to your brain. You get clammy hands, you're just devastated to be in that situation.
And then you fear ever having to move school again, because then you have to go through that exactly the
same. Yeah, it's awful.
I've recently had a problem with making plans, and if they're quite far in advance, so let's say if they're a week in advance, I'll kind of be thinking about it over the first couple of days, and then it becomes quite obsessive thoughts about it. And so eventually it's 2 hours before I'm meant to do something, and I've worked myself up into such a commotion that I then pull out, or I have a panic attack.
I was about to say, how many plans have you cancelled from anxiety? Stuff that I desperately want to do, and then it comes half an hour and I'm like, I'm going to bed.
Just can't do it. It's all too much.
Yeah, too much.
And then you'd rather pull out.
But you've done that to yourself. We've worked ourselves up to this point. It could have been really straightforward without anxiety, but it's not. It's I hit certain points of trauma in my life, and from then anxiety just kind of escalated with it as a way of cushioning the trauma. It was kind of my safety blanket, but it's affected pretty much every period of my life. I don't think I've had one experience or one day that hasn't been affected by anxiety. I don't know about you. I don't know if you've if it's got worse over a period of time, or...
I think I was just a born worrier. I worried about everything since I can remember. And I'd be worrying throughout the school day about the sleepover coming up, and preparing myself for it, and what if I couldn't get to sleep, what if the other girl fell asleep first? And then it would just kind of get to this point, and then I'd just start panicking. For me, when I was around 13, I started understanding how to self-medicate these worries, and when I discovered alcohol as a party, and and that obviously opened up a few more issues for me over the years.
It's the irony of getting anxious about being anxious. So thinking about the first time you were anxious, you then so anxious for that feeling to come back. So you're anxious about being anxious, which makes you more anxious. Yeah. It's ridiculous. I get pins and needles, and I get clammy hands. I don't know if you
I get this kind of tunnel vision where I can't see beyond. I just can't see the room. I walk into anywhere and I'm just overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's it, overwhelmed.
Yeah.
When I realised I needed the help, I went to my GP at first. So after looking online and things, I couldn't find anything that was actually helping, and I was I can't do this myself anymore.
What were you writing into Google?
Ways to cope with anxiety. And the silly thing is I wrote, what is anxiety? Because I was is this even anxiety that I'm feeling? Because you don't hear anybody talk about it in the physical sense anymore. People just say, I'm a bit anxious to go somewhere. And I think the meaning's gone.
Exactly, it's kind of a bit of a buzzword.
Yeah.
And undermined.
The meaning of it's gone. But I actually went to my GP for help and just kind of said this isn't okay anymore. I need help with this. And he kind of referred CBT counselling.
Did that help you?
CBT's been great. So it's cognitive behavioural therapy, and it's where if you know you're doing something, so say if I'm starting to feel anxious, I'll fiddle, and that's when I know, because I'm fiddling. Yeah, making you anxious thinking about it. And I'll fiddle this, and it teaches you to recognise at the very beginning and interject with coping mechanisms. It's so cliche, but I use the anxiety apps on my phone.
I haven't done this.
Really
I've heard so much about it.
It's
Headspace? No.
Yeah. They have circles where you breathe in time with the circles, and I found that just focusing on something silly like that takes your mind off what you're actually worrying about.
Yeah.
So you don't have that build-up of worry.
So I tried Transcendental Meditation.
Wow.
Yeah. I really, at first I was doing it, so it's they teach you to meditate for 20 minutes a day, which for me was just quite a lot. But I did it, and at first it was really helpful, because it just gives you that kind of time out of your overthinking things.
Yeah, it breaks the cycle.
And it gives you that space to kind of calm down, I think.
Yeah. So I'm taking sertraline for anxiety now, and obviously other mental health problems too, but it really helps with the anxiety.
Yeah. I reacted so badly to it, and for me, I think because the doctor didn't really kind of explain what I was taking, it didn't really do a background check either. So I was on like where I was in myself. So I was drinking a lot, I was taking those drugs, and then I was given sertraline, which made me feel even more numb.
They just kind of like throw
and
it
then
at you as though it's a solution to the problem.
Yeah, and it was just kind of added to a bigger mess.
Yeah, whereas now I'm kind of like using the sertraline as like an addition to the therapy, not as just like a quick fix. It's kind of like that little pick-me-up that I need in addition to the help that I'm getting.
Did they give it to you after you started therapy or before?
Before. So I thought it was just going to be this instant fix, sorted, but it's not. You need to work with it.
I think now we're very much more aware of anxiety, and we can say, oh, I've got anxiety, whereas I think when I was growing up, it wasn't so much of a thing to say about someone. Like, it was kind of, I mean, I was just feeling all these things and I didn't know what it was. I think also it's like, because there's that kind of approach with anxiety, which is like just kind of get on with it, like
just forget about it.
Yeah, but that can also mean that you don't seek the help you need.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel like if you go into a doctor's office and you're wearing makeup and you've got clothes on and you're dressed up, then what are you here for? Yeah. Like, I almost feel like I need to go in on a day where I don't look good or look nice,
or like in pieces,
like crying, running mascara, and then you're taken seriously. But it's kind of like, oh, you're a young girl, you're just anxious about like the world and about boys, and it's like, no, this is ruining my life right now, like take me seriously. But
because I read that it is something that affects women more than it does men.
Oh really?
Apparently.
People need to realise that it's a spectrum. Like, you're not always at your peak of anxiety. Sometimes you're dealing with it okay, but you're still anxious. You're still a person who suffers with anxiety.
What advice would you give your younger self?
Oh my God, that it's going to be okay. If I could go back and tell my 13-year-old self to go out and enjoy every second and not care about what I look like, not care about what I might say, not care about what the pictures look like, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
It's very easy to say that though.
It's so easy to say that. Like, would I be here if I didn't have those experiences? So it's, you know, it's swings and roundabouts, isn't it? But what would you tell yourself?
I think I tell myself that I can't control everything around me.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. And I think you have to surrender some control and let things just happen, and all you can do is kind of look at what you're doing in this instance. You can't control what other people are going to say or whatever other people are going to do. And I think if I learnt that earlier, I'd be I would have just saved myself a lot of pain.
To let life happen. Thank you guys for watching, and we really hope you found this helpful, and if you're suffering with anxiety, we hope this gave you the courage to seek help.
For more videos like this, go to Glamour UK's YouTube channel.